7 weeks, over 100 executive orders, a regulatory storm like we've never seen before. Businesses are scrambling, tariffs spiking, deregulations reshaping industries, priorities shifting overnight. If you're feeling overwhelmed, good. That means you're paying attention. But today, we're cutting through the chaos. We're showing you how AI can do more than help you survive. It can help you predict, pivot, and profit in the middle of the storm. Hello, and welcome back, my fellow entrepreneurs. I'm Kim, your host of Small Business Big AI, the podcast that helps you not just survive, but thrive in the AI era. Now, today, we're heading straight into the eye of the storm. A regulatory hurricane is tearing through industries, and with hundreds of executive orders in so little time, small businesses are in the direct path of impact. Now, picture it. Paperwork swirling like a tornado, accountants bracing for impact, supply chain managers gripping the rails like they're on a sinking ship. But here's the truth. This isn't just bureaucratic noise. This isn't just another headline. This is your bottom line at stake. Now, I know what you're thinking. Regulations, bureaucracy, sounds like a snooze fest. But trust me, this matters because this storm isn't just about red tape. It's about survival, adaptability, and whether your business can withstand the impact. But here's the good news. You don't have to ride this out alone. Now, I've got your AI survival kit packed and ready, your lifeboat in these treacherous waters. Now, AI isn't just a shield against the storm. It's the reinforcement that keeps your business from capsizing. It's your radar, your GPS, your all-weather gear designed to help you not just endure this wave of regulations, but ride it like a pro so you can get back to building that technology-enabled superpower. A business that not only survives, but thrives in the AI era. Now remember, you are not powerless. You are not at the mercy of this storm. And this podcast, this community, it's your safe harbor in the chaos. So if you're ready to stop reacting and start strategizing, if you're done feeling like a sitting duck and ready to become the storm chaser, the entrepreneur who adapts, innovates, and comes out stronger than before, then grab your coffee or something stronger. I won't judge. Strap in and let's navigate this regulatory hurricane together. Okay, let's set the stage. In preparation for today's episode, we went straight to the source. We took a deep dive into the current regulatory landscape. Now, we navigated directly to the White House website to analyze the latest executive orders. And here's where things got interesting. Now, right out of the gate, we hit roadblocks just trying to access key documents. A perfect reminder that in today's world, information isn't just changing, it's disappearing before you can grab it. Policies shift, regulations evolve, and even tracking down the right data, it feels like trying to grab a life raft in rough seas. But we pressed on, and what we found? Major trends that every small business owner needs to know right now. Now, the U.S. government has issued a flurry of executive orders, each shaping different areas of the private sector. Some reinforce America's strategic priorities, like maintaining its leadership in artificial intelligence, and others signal a clear shift in focus, such as dialing back commitments to renewable energy and climate change initiatives. Now, make no mistake, we are navigating unpredictable waters. And as a business owner, you don't just need information, you need a system to make sense of it. You need strategies for cutting through the noise, spotting the shifts that matter, and adapting before they hit your bottom line. So that's exactly what we're diving into today. With the help of my favorite co host and business strategist, Hal, we're going to unpack the real impact of these regulatory shifts. We'll break down how to monitor, interpret, and respond to changing policies. So instead of feeling blindsided, you can turn uncertainty into clarity. Now, because if you're a small business owner, you're already feeling it. Rising costs, volatile markets, and AI rewriting the rule book faster than most can adapt. And let's be honest, the world is not waiting for us to catch up. So if you're not paying attention, you're already behind. Let's get into it. What exactly is an executive order? Why does it matter? And most importantly, how does it impact your small business? All right, friends, let's get real. Now, to help us steer through this storm, I'm bringing in our expert navigator, the business strategist who always knows where the economic winds are blowing, my favorite co host, Hal. Hey, Hal, how's it looking out there?
The weather, it's a little rough out here, Kim, but I'm glad to be here.
So, Hal, these federal executive orders have been in the press quite a bit lately.
Honestly, I feel like I need my own AI assistant just to keep track of these jimmies. Things are changing faster than a Florida hurricane.
So true, Hal. But, it appears the current administration really is committed to change, something we as small businesses are quite honestly used to, but maybe not this fast. So, break it down for us. What exactly are executive orders, and why should small businesses be paying close attention?
An executive order is basically an official directive from the president that carries the force of law. It's a powerful tool to quickly enact or reverse policies without needing approval from Congress. The sheer volume and rapid pace of these orders lately means policies affecting trade, deregulation, funding, immigration, you name it, can literally shift overnight.
Hell, so let's be real. Small business owners are already in survival mode. Long hours, razor thin margins, unpredictable markets. So, why should they drop everything to focus on these executive orders? And why does it even matter right now?
Kim, it's simple because executive orders aren't just about political theater.
So, what do you mean by that? Not about political theater.
Whether it's tariffs that jack up your import costs, funding freezes affecting your grants, or sudden deregulation that throws compliance into chaos. You need to pay attention because your bottom line depends on it.
Right, that old bottom line. So, let's highlight a common mistake here. Now, many small businesses wait too long to react.
True, they treat executive orders like distant thunder, thinking it won't affect me at all.
But then lightning strikes, and boom, costs rise, margins collapse, and before you know it, you're playing catch up. So, why do you think businesses are often caught unprepared?
Great question. It's usually because they're stuck in reactive mode. They're busy putting out daily fires instead of proactively monitoring changes. By the time they realize they're impacted, it's already too late. They've lost market share, revenue, and even customers.
Oh, exactly. And speaking of being proactive, Hal, what's this big fuss about this 10 to 1 deregulation rule? Now, it sounds catchy, but what is it exactly? Get specific.
Gladly. It sounds catchy, but let's dig a little deeper. For every new regulation introduced, agencies must consider removing 10 old ones.
Well, that sounds efficient to me. Sounds like a good idea, getting rid of old, outdated regulations.
On the surface, sounds great. Less red tape, more efficiency. But there's the kicker. Nobody knows which regulations are on the chopping block. Nobody knows when the axe will fall. And for small business, that's not just uncertainty, that's paralysis.
Whoa, I get your point. Uncertainty is deadly for small businesses. So imagine you're a small importer or a manufacturer, and suddenly tariffs spike overnight. Your costs skyrocket, your margins vanish, and you're blindsided.
And that's precisely why small business owners can't afford to sit back. Honestly, Kim, the biggest mistake I've seen when confronted with uncertainty like this is inertia. Doing nothing, waiting for clarity, and hoping that issue magically resolves itself. Unfortunately, clarity never arrives on time. Businesses that wait are usually the first casualties when things go sideways. Those who hesitate in these moments often lose market share because their competitors pivot first.
Yeah, that's both a disturbing and a powerful point. How waiting for clarity is not a strategy, it's really a death wish. So let's pause for a moment, entrepreneurs. Ask yourself this: if regulations change tonight, how quickly could you realistically pivot? Would you even know where to start?
And if that question makes you uneasy, you're in the right place today.
Exactly, my small business, big AI insiders, because you tune in each week to stay informed and beat the competition. So, how? Let's shift gears to transparency in federal spending. Now, what's this new executive order about, and why should small business owners be paying attention?
In short, this order mandates a new centralized tracking system for government contracts, grants, and loans. Businesses might face increased scrutiny and need to justify expenses more meticulously. Think detailed paperwork and audits galore.
Oh, detailed paperwork and audits. Oh, no. Think about that, listeners. How would more paperwork and tighter compliance rules impact your business operations? Will this make government contracts harder or easier for you? So reflect on that for a moment, because next week we're following the money trail, diving deeper into funding sources and securing money. All right, let's discuss another hot topic, and that's American energy dominance. Now, how this executive order seems beneficial for businesses in oil and gas, but it could seriously disrupt the renewable energy and EV sectors, right?
Exactly. This shift toward domestic fuel, fossil fuel production, and away from renewables, it creates immediate winners and losers. If you're in the solar or EV technology, you could face sudden funding cuts, reduced incentives, or shifting regulations that affect production and adoption rates.
And let's be real, this isn't just about policy changes. This could reshape the future of automotive and transportation industries.
Exactly. Take Ford's Model E program, for example. A massive investment in electrification charging infrastructure, and next generation EV development. If government incentives disappear or shift, that could impact everything from EV affordability to dealership profitability.
Wow, dealership profitability. Now, that's a huge point, Hal. And when you're dealing with long term industry trends like EV adoption, even a slight shift in policy can ripple through supply chains, dealerships, and really consumer demand. So here's the big question: where does that leave small businesses, especially, like auto dealers or part suppliers and service providers who are already adapting to the EV transition?
It leaves them in a tight spot unless they're ahead of the curve. The challenge here is that while big automakers like Ford are doubling down on EVs, the policies surrounding them are shifting faster than ever. One day, EV tax credits are fueling demand. The next, battery sourcing regulations change, affecting everything from pricing to availability. And if tariffs hit lithium, rare earth minerals, or imported components, suddenly the cost of building EV skyrockets overnight.
Right. And who's caught in the middle? It's consumers trying to figure out if now is the right time to buy an EV, and businesses trying to predict market shifts before they happen. Now, Hal, speaking of sudden disruptions, let's talk about tariffs. So, Hal, imagine you're a small retailer importing products and tariffs spike 20% overnight. What's the first thing businesses typically do?
First reaction, panic. Second reaction, start scrambling to cut costs and pass price hikes on to the customers. And for auto dealers, that means rising vehicle costs, unpredictable inventory pricing, and fluctuating consumer interest in EVs. It's a lose lose scenario if you're caught off guard.
So true. And that's precisely why staying informed and agile isn't optional, it is mandatory. Now, the good news: leveraging AI strategically can give you an incredible edge in times like these. So, think about it. How? What if AI could help dealerships predict shifts in EV demand, maybe even monitor policy changes in real time, and optimize pricing based on upcoming tariff adjustments? Now, this chaos, when managed strategically, especially with the right AI tools, can become your greatest competitive advantage, right?
Couldn't agree more. The businesses thriving right now aren't just reacting, they're anticipating. AI lets you see what's coming days, weeks, or even months ahead. That kind of insight is priceless.
Beautifully put, Hal. Now, before we wrap up this segment, here is a question for every entrepreneur listening. If an executive order completely shifted your industry's landscape tonight, could you confidently say your business would adapt seamlessly by tomorrow morning?
That's a powerful reality check. If the answer is no, stick around. We've got AI powered strategies coming up that can truly bulletproof your business and guide you through this chaos.
Fantastic. So stay tuned, my friends, because you don't want to miss this. Ready to unlock the power of AI for your small business? Well, don't just listen. Become a small business big AI insider. Subscribe and get ready to dominate. All right, we've just covered the reality check. Now let's talk solutions. Now, small businesses listening today might feel stuck. So, where do they even start when tackling something as unpredictable as regulatory chaos?
First, breathe.
Hmm.
Seriously, though, The first step is proactive awareness. Don't wait for trouble to come knocking. Anticipate it. Let's use the radar metaphor. AI tools are your radar, consistently scanning for regulatory threats long before they hit.
Right. And anticipating challenges is crucial. So, Hal, give me an example. What does this look like practically?
Let's say you own a clothing boutique and you import materials. Tariffs suddenly spikes, increasing your import costs. AI-driven analytics could signal these potential changes weeks earlier that alerts you to secure supplies from an alternate source at lower prices, avoiding the hit entirely.
But here's the pushback, Hal. I often hear AI sounds great, but where do I get started? Is it this stuff expensive or complicated?
Great point, Kim, but a common misconception. Here's my advice. Start small, but start immediately. Begin by using simple, affordable AI-driven market monitoring tools or your predictive analytics that track your critical business metrics. You don't need massive investments to see big results.
So start small, but start immediately. I love that, Hal. But what else can businesses do today?
Next, they need to build a scenario planning framework using AI. Scenario planning doesn't have to be complicated. It's simply running what if scenarios using AI driven forecasting to see how changes like tariffs or regulatory shifts might impact your bottom line.
Brilliant. So, step one is proactive awareness. Step two, scenario planning. So, what's the third practical step that small businesses can take right now?
Automate your response. Think of it as your AI powered autopilot. Identify repetitive processes like responding to regulatory paperwork, handling compliance, or monitoring inventory costs, and then automate them. This gives you more bandwidth for critical decision making.
Oh, I love it. So, streamline the routine to free your time and resources for bigger strategic decisions. Now, how? Let's be honest. Some business owners might be skeptical. Maybe they tried AI tools before and didn't see quick results. So, what advice do you have for them?
Great question. Usually the problem isn't AI itself, it's how AI was used. AI isn't a magical wand, it amplifies human strategies. Use AI intentionally and strategically. Don't just buy tools, invest time in learning how to best leverage AI. It's about blending human intuition with AI's analytical power.
Exactly. AI is powerful, but it still needs your strategic direction. So let's recap our action steps clearly. Number one, start proactively monitoring your environment. Anticipate, don't react. Now, number two, scenario plan using predictive analytics. Run those what ifs. And number three, automate repetitive tasks. Let AI handle the mundane, freeing you up for strategic thinking.
Exactly. Small steps, big results.
Oh, I love it, Hal.
Change is hard. You built your business from the ground up, late nights, early mornings, and a whole lot of heart. But now things are shifting. Customer expectations, technology, competition. It's a lot to keep up with. At Howard and Howard Holdings, we get it. That's why we created this small business transformation model, a simple, step-by-step framework designed for you, the business owner. No complex jargon, No overwhelming strategies, just practical changes that help you adapt, grow, and thrive. Because change shouldn't be a burden, it should be your biggest opportunity. Take that first step. Our contact information is in the show notes. Let's make change work for you.
All right, it's time for one of my favorite segments, Coffee Table Conversations with Kim and Hal. Now, I saved this segment for last today because I wanted to cover 3 specific executive orders in more detail. All right, Hal, let's talk about these 3 executive orders. They are removing barriers to American leadership in AI, strengthening American leadership in digital financial tech, and establishing a new Department of Government Efficiency. So, why should our listeners care about these?
Well, Kim, it boils down to this: complexity is costly. Small businesses don't have endless resources to navigate complicated regulations. These particular orders hint at something potentially huge: simplifying the rules, cutting redundancy, and harnessing technology to streamline how businesses and government interact. That's why these orders matter.
Great point, Hal. But let's get specific. This new Department of Government Efficiency, or DOGE, it sounds promising, right? Give us an example of how this could realistically help our small business listeners.
Imagining you opening a cafe. Right now, you might have to jump through multiple hoops: health department, local permits, zone regulations, business licensing. It can feel endless. This Department of Government Efficiency, if executed well, would mean fewer forms, quicker approvals, and clearer guidelines, all digitally accessible. Picture it like renewing your driver's license online: fast, transparent, and easy.
Yeah, that's a great visual, Hal. But let's keep it real. What if the implementation doesn't go as smoothly?
Well, Kim, that's the risk. If implementation is messy, you could see the opposite happen: confusion over new versus old systems, added stress, and even more layers of complexity. But I'm optimistic because businesses themselves can advocate and push for accountability.
You know how that's empowering advice. So now let's pivot to AI and technology driven initiatives.
That's the topic right up our wheelhouse at Small Business Big AI.
Exactly, Hal. So, this new executive order removing barriers to American leadership in artificial intelligence, it's really a big deal. It's about strengthening the U.S.'s position as the global leader in AI innovation.
So let's break it down. How does the order connect to small businesses?
So, it connects directly, Hal. This order is about cutting red tape and accelerating AI driven innovation. And that means removing outdated regulations that slow down AI adoption, thus fostering fair, unbiased AI systems and making sure that American businesses, not foreign competitors, lead the change in AI development. Now, for small business owners, this isn't just a policy shift, it is a massive opportunity. So, Hal, I want you to imagine a world where AI tools aren't hindered by legacy policies, where innovation moves at the speed of demand, and where businesses, really of all sizes, not just the big tech players, can harness AI to scale, to automate, and compete globally.
That's huge, Kim. But let's talk real world impact. How does this executive order actually benefit small businesses today?
Well, here's how. First, by unleashing AI without bureaucratic drag. Now, right now, many AI applications are stuck in legal limbo due to outdated compliance requirements. Now, this order cuts those roadblocks, allowing for faster AI adoption without unnecessary government restrictions. And then, secondly, really by leveling the playing field. One of the biggest concerns in AI is bias in algorithms. Now, this executive order prioritizes developing fair, unbiased AI models, which is critical for small businesses that rely on AI for things like hiring and marketing and customer interactions. And then finally, how this AI is encouraging AI driven automation. Now, small businesses don't have armies of employees, but they do have AI tools that can streamline workflows, that can enhance decision making, and optimize operations. So, this order supports AI driven automation, making it easier and more cost effective to really integrate into everyday business functions.
So basically, this order removes barriers that have been holding back small businesses from fully leveraging AI.
Exactly how. This order ensures that small businesses, whether you're a retail store or a consulting firm or manufacturer or even an auto dealership, can use AI without getting tangled in compliance headaches.
And speaking of AI integration, Ford Model E program is a great example of how businesses are betting big on AI driven advancements. Whether it's automating production, optimizing EV battery performance, or personalizing customer experiences, AI is at the center of the next generation of business strategy.
Oh, I love that, Hal. AI isn't just about keeping up, it's about creating an edge. So let's leave our listeners with a challenge. What's one AI driven action that you can take this week? Maybe it's testing an AI powered sales tool, or maybe implementing an AI chatbot, or simply subscribing to an AI news feed to stay informed. Whatever it is, take action today because the businesses that win tomorrow are the ones that are adapting today.
Exactly, Kim. AI isn't the future, it's already here. These executive orders signal a potential turning point. Entrepreneurs who proactively embrace digital transformation and lean thinking will thrive. The playing field is finally open up for small businesses to step up and lead.
And that's a perfect way to close, Hal. Entrepreneurs, small business leaders, this is our moment. The world is changing, but that's not something to fear. It's an opportunity. So stay agile, stay informed, and never hesitate to innovate or advocate for clarity. Now, that's it for today's episode of Small Business Big AI. Thanks again for tuning in. Remember, chaos doesn't have to mean crisis. Now, with the right tools, strategies, and mindset, regulatory storms can become your greatest opportunities. Now, here's your challenge for this week. Choose just one AI driven step you can take immediately. Maybe it's setting up real time monitoring, or experimenting with scenario planning, or maybe even just automating your first task. Whatever you choose, take action today. Because in the world of small business, action beats hesitation every single time. Now, the businesses that dominate tomorrow aren't waiting around today. They're bold, they're innovative, they're leading with AI at their side. Now, we all know that small businesses are the heart and soul of the American dream, and the future belongs to those who are prepared to adapt. Because we're not building small businesses anymore. In the AI era, entrepreneurs are building big. We're building technology-enabled superpowers. So, subscribe, leave a review, and share this episode with other business owners who need this lifeline. Now, until next time, keep embracing change, keep innovating, and remember, the future of your business is bigger than you think. And the steps you take today will shape the legacy you build tomorrow. Now, I'm Kim, and this has been Small Business, Big AI. Thanks for listening. I'll catch you in the next episode.